As storytellers, we believe it is imperative for us to study the art of storytelling. Today, we're going to be discussing the first act of your story. Now, regardless of the type of story you're telling, there has to be a first act. The first act is not going to have the most important events or interactions of the story, though. The first act is reserved for introduction and setting the stage for the rest of the story. But what are the things that writers often get wrong in their first acts? This is the video for that question.
I'm 10, and I think your dress is the ugliest one I ever saw.
Brigitte, you shouldn't say that.
Why not? Don't you think it's ugly?
Of course. But Fräulein Hilda's was ugliest. I'm Kurt. I'm 11. I'm incorrigible.
There are two main things that writers get wrong when they write their first act. The first is to pique the interest of the reader. Now, I know what you're thinking. Isn't that obvious? Yes, but the elements of good storytelling have been obvious since Aristotle wrote them down 2,000 years ago. The problem is that, of course, we can say that you must pique the interest of your audience, but there's so many ways to do this that we can't just give you a nice short list of do's and don'ts to accomplish this.
Suddenly, a dark cloud settled over first period. I got a C in debate?
Dee,
Sup?
did you get your report card?
Yeah, I'm toast. How'd you do?
I totally choked. My father is gonna go ballistic on me.
However, we can give you a simple sentence that can cover most situations. Find your theme, give the important factors in determining that theme, and don't take too long in getting out of the act. Now, we know that this is very general, so let's dig into that idea for a minute. Finding your theme is not necessarily something you can do before you've written the story. When that idea is just an idea in your head bothering you because it wants to be written, it's not going to tell you what the theme is. That's something that you have to learn through writing the story.
Now this was different. It was as if he was always walking in a shadow. I mean, every step he took towards the light, just when you thought his face was about to be revealed, it wasn't. It was as if the lights dimmed just for him.
So you go through and you write your first draft. And only after you've written it do you realize it's about grief. So you do what all great writers do. Rewrite. You go back and rewrite your first act to reflect your theme. And how do you do this? You give the important factors to your audience. As long as you do this and don't take too long, you're doing it right.
Masalah. Mereka sudah sampai. Matikan semua komunikasi. Kunci semua akses.
The second thing writers get wrong in their first act is to carry forward the interest of the audience into the rest of your story. After all, you don't want your audience checking out of the story right after your first act. So what do? We need to give them questions. No, we're not asking them questions, but we are posing questions for them to ask.
They're coming. Help is coming. Why didn't they ask Evans?
We can look at stories like the Whodunit for an easy example. Every single good whodunit offers the audience a group of questions in the first act. Whodunit? How did they do it? Why did they do it? These are questions that every mystery has to answer by the end of the story, but every good mystery makes sure to lead the audience into those questions. By being the author, you have full control of what the audience thinks by the words you put on the page. So you can lead them by the hand into these questions.
And it beats me. Aren't last words supposed to be statements? The will is behind the walnut bureau. Tell Edith I love her. You're not supposed to ask a question then just die.
And this is how you can carry forward the interest into the second act, by showing the audience events that incite questions, and once your audience is asking questions, they're interested. These two things are very important to your first act and making sure that your audience sticks around for the rest of the story. So when you're writing your next story, keep these ideas in your mind when you're writing your first act, and you'll find that your audience can't help but stick around. And as always, keep writing.